Hey everybody. I'm just trying to figure out what I was doing last time I was in. I think possibly I may have been working on a writ to kind of try to get this crafting level up to 38, probably, so that I can make myself some jewelry. As I definitely do need some. Oh, how funny. Okay, all right. So apparently, and see, it's all coming back to me now. I finished the last writ, and I forgot to go turn it in. Not only that, I did find last night before I logged off that there was an advanced jeweler 37 in the depot, which is very nice. It's just spells for scouts. There's no jewelry in it, as suspected. And I'll buy the regular book right now. I can tell you what's in there, and you'll know that what's in the advanced one is just the Adept 3 versions of these same spells. So we've got Checkmate, Entrap, Buviena's Disparate Chant, Moor, Snag, and Verlian's Keen of Woe. All right. So now we know what those books have. And I'll even make it over to turn in my work order if all goes well. If I can remember for 2 seconds to do that. Look at that. I did it. Amazing. Amazing. All right. Grab the next work order. Now, I noticed that I'm 9.3% into the trade skill level with 5.6% vitality bonus left. So that's a little bit to work with. It's not a ton to work with, but it's something. So I think that's reasonable. Now the other question is, no, I didn't. I went. Oh my goodness. Okay, I went in there. I turned in the quest, failed to pick up the next quest, and then clicked the work order desk as though I had picked up the next quest. Very good job. Amazing. Once more. I'll be here all day. All right. Um, so trying that again. This time I actually did pick up the work order. It's amazing. Um, and now, back to the house for your future presentation. Okay. So anyway, that aside, I do hope to talk to a an armorer soon and try to get some of the face steel armor for level 32. I don't have an armorer myself, but I think we've got let's see here. Let's see what we've got. Oh yeah, so just so you guys know, if you're searching in your guild trying to organize the way that looks, this button right here tells you whether you're going to look at the class or whether you're going to look at like the trade skill class, the adventuring class, or whichever one is highest. So if their trade skill level is highest, you'll see that. If their adventure level is highest, you'll see that. I want currently to look at the trade skill class because I'm interested to see what kind of armorers we have going on. So I'm going to click it to this little button here. It looks like a little test tube. And then I'm going to sort by class. And we have, looks like 24 armor, 28 armor, and a 57 armor. So clearly, Mappo is the one I need to contact about this potential face deal. Then I'm going to sort back by location because that's how I like to see it most of the time. All right, excelente. Hopefully, our king's dead. So, you may have been privy to me making this little trade skill window over to the right, above I believe it's above the subscriber box on your screen. This is just to make, it's one way to make it simpler and not have to craft from your knowledge book, and still have your highest level combat or trade skill abilities to work with. Otherwise, I also have on my trade skill window a little box that I've made in the window. Either one will work. The one thing you don't want to do is use the trade skill buttons that are in your trade skill window after you move up past the first, the first tier then of crafting. You want to then get your spells that are more appropriate for your level. So that's my 2 cents on that. Meanwhile, I'm trying to apparently make the 3rd bar, not the 4th bar of this item, because I wasn't paying enough attention, as is so often the case. However, I was able to save it, so all is well. And of course, part of that is using the appropriately leveled icons. So we got there, we did it, all is well. Hopefully everyone's morning is going good today. I was out driving along a road nearby and saw that a fire hydrant was letting off water just all over the road, all over the bar ditch, as is often the case, which I think they do to prevent Legionnaire's disease. So every once in a while they'll let the water off. But anyway, big huge puddles everywhere. Mind you, it's like, I don't know, it got down to I think 33 degrees last night. So it was just above freezing. There are these huge puddles of water in the road, and there's like a flock of ducks just hanging out by the side of the road in the bar ditch. And they were thrilled about life. Like, yes, we have this large puddle of extremely cold water. And they were very happy. And I'm just thinking about when you're in the swimming pool and it feels okay while you're in the swimming pool, but then you get out of the swimming pool and it's like, oh my gosh, it's so cold, right? So I was thinking about those ducks flying out of there, and the water was quite cool, but maybe it felt pretty nice to the ducks. And then they fly out of there and they've got the water on their bodies and they're just like, oh my gosh, it's actually really cold, you know? So I was having a good time imagining their response to that. So that was my my amusement on the way here. I'm actually at my son's comics and cards shop yet again. So it's not actually open yet, so have solitude momentarily. Let's see, in other updates, I tried to attach a headset yesterday to this little laptop, but unfortunately, I could get I could hear it. So the speakers on the headset worked just fine, but the mic would not. I just couldn't make it work with the computer, and I think part of that might be that I have the one jack for a headset to go in instead of I don't have like an audio. I don't know. I don't have an audio jack and a mic jack. I just have the headset jack, which ought to work, but I'm afraid that was the issue. I messed around with it, trying to do some troubleshooting in this and that for way too long, and then I just kind of was like, okay, this obviously is not working out for me. So, oh well. Another thing I did was I made a chat channel in EverQuest 2 for Copernicus Corner. I guess anyone can join that right now. I don't have a password on it or anything. So it's just Copernicus Corner, just exactly how it's spelled on the on my Twitch page. I just thought it might be kind of cool for people to be able to join that and say hi in game pretty easily. Um, but I don't know. I used to have one a long time ago that was just for my friends on live, and that was a cool thing to do. It was kind of like having guild chat, but you could all be in different guilds and still be able to communicate in one channel. So even if I wasn't on, but some of my other friends were who may not even know each other, they could say, "Hey, is would anybody come help me with this thing, or does anyone know this?" And they would get good answers because the people that I had in that channel were all really good folks. And it was better than asking in general, where you may get some kind of like snarky responses and things like that. You could always rely on the people in there to be to be good folks who would answer your questions if they knew the answer, and they would help you if they could. Yeah. So that was fun. And then later on, I ended up making one that was a combination of our guild chat plus another guild that we were very, very friendly with. Um, and we would be able to all talk to each other's just among the two guilds that way. It's kind of like a guild alliance in an unofficial manner. Now I understand that on live, apparently you can have a guild alliance now. I was just hearing about this the other day. Don't know how new that is, but apparently you can officially do a guild alliance with one other guild at this time. If I ever do log back into live for a moment, I would go ahead and do that with the guild that we've always kind of had that relationship with for many years. Um, I think for I mean probably 20 years at this point. We have been very good friends with that guild, so it would definitely be something I would be willing to do, and I'm sure that the leader over there would also be willing to and happy to do that. And I don't know what the benefits are as far as uh, what that system has over what we currently have going. Um, right now, like I said, we have over there the channel, so we can all talk to each other very easily. And we already, have access to each other's depots and everything like that too in the different guild halls. So, other than that, I'm not sure what the benefits on live are of doing a an official guild alliance with another guild. I mean, there may be some nice parts of it. For instance, right now I can't actually remember how to do a slash who for a channel. I feel like it should. I know it's possible to see who's in a channel, but I can't recall how to do it. And it may be easier if there was like an alliance tab on your guild window, and then maybe you could switch over and see who all's on in that other guild. Maybe you could switch over and speak just to that other guild and not to your own if you wanted to. I'm not really sure. I would like to investigate that for sure, um, just to find out what they've been doing in that regard, because I think there's a lot of potential for that. Like maybe you could have a shared calendar that you could put, say raid information on if you wanted to raid with the other guild. I don't know. I feel like the possibilities are definitely there, and it's cool that they finally did do that. Many years ago, they implemented a like get married thing. I don't like. There's an altar, and you can marry someone in the game and get benefits from playing with that person. I think it can be a little awkward. So I mean, the role play aspect is that you're actually marrying that other character, but like, I mean, I don't know that everyone is necessarily comfortable with doing that particularly. I mean, can't we just be friends? You know what I mean? Do we have to go that far? Do we have to make that kind of commitment just to get that bonus? Because there is a bonus for doing that and then playing with that character. I mean, I don't remember right now what that bonus is, but it's a little awkward uh, when you play with somebody a lot. It doesn't really mean that you have these kinds of strong feelings, right? But you're playing with them a lot, and then you want to get that benefit from playing with them a lot, and then you have to be like, well, hey, would you marry me? And it feels a little uncomfortable, um, especially just in all of the ways, really. So um, I I don't know. I mean, I've done it in the game because there are good benefits to it, and if you play with someone regularly, at least at the time that it came out, and while I was playing, um, there was definitely good reason to do that. But I think they could have maybe, I don't know. It was a little strange. And I don't know, I don't remember the details of it. I remember you would go together to the altar, and I know that we have an altar in the guild hall. She'd go together to the altar, and I think you both had to click the altar and maybe go through a agreement that that you were committed to doing this. So um, anyway, a little weird. Feels like that could have been done a little differently. Now, I was awoken early this morning. Speaking of such things, because someone called me and needed their car jumped off. It's like, okay. And I went over there and took him like a little jumper box, and turns out that jumper box was not charged. I was just like, it doesn't matter. We'll just use jumper cables. He's like, oh no, because I don't want to have to push the car out so that we can charge it. Fortunately, I was like, that's not an issue. I've got these 20-foot, super amazing, awesome jumper cables. It's going to be so cool. And he was doubtful, but we, handed him his end, um, and pulled my car up near the back of his, and sure enough, no problem. Went right over his Equinox. I think it's an Equinox, and got it hooked up. And I mean, these jumper cables are pretty awesome, honestly. They're like, let's see, they're 2 gauge, 20-foot solid copper cables. So the culmination of that is that they can jump off a pretty big vehicle um, in just pretty much instantly. It was pretty funny. He hooked it up, and as soon as we got it hooked up, he then went and started the car, and it started right up. It's a wonderful set of jumper cables. Apparently, I'm in the business of extolling the virtues of jumper cables this morning. You just never know what you're going to get on Copernicus Corner. We just talk about, we talk about the existence of Tom and how good jumper cables are. I mean, it ranges, all right. But regardless, I guess where I'm going with that is that if you need a pair of jumper cables, you should definitely get the solid copper ones, and it is very beneficial to have a lengthy set so that you can save your friends who are in this terrible situation of being otherwise having to basically push their car out of where it's at because you can't get your car around to charge it. Very helpful. There we go. You know what I didn't do, and now I've done a whole rip without doing it, and I'm working on a second one. I will probably forget. I did not put my crafting gear on. And again, it's not like I have a lot of crafting gear on Origins. I've got the Artisan's Tunic, and I have this little, like, power thing. It's pretty cool. Let's see here. It is, first of all, I can't see it because I don't have it on. I could see it if I went to my bags. But what fun is that? So I'll go ahead and finish this opaline noxious stud. And then I'll put on my crafting gear and show you. See, I can't remember the first word in it because it's like novel cogs or something like that, you know. It's some, you know, gnomish name. Let's see. With the crafting. Noggin Sparks. I wasn't far off. Noggin Sparks, Wondrous Tickerdoodle. Which may be the racial reward for being a gnome. I'm not really sure. I know that I got it from a quest line. It may have been the racial quest line. I wouldn't be surprised. But it is a pretty good little item. Whenever you use it, so you have it equipped and you use it, it increases power of caster by 70. And the reuse timer on it is 10 minutes. So you can't use it a great ton. I'm actually going to put it on my hotbar here, just because that might make it easier for me to remember to actually do it when I'm out of power next. May not. I can be unobservant, possibly, sometimes. But anyway, for now, I've got it on there. So, all is well. So, I learned about raiding recently, and I didn't learn about it recently. I learned about it shortly after I first started this channel, but then I didn't really look into it until somewhat recently, and I still haven't quite figured out how to do it. I've tried it a few different times, and it's been unsuccessful for me thus far. I did get raided yesterday, which is awesome. But I did get a notification about that. I wasn't sure what that would look like or if I would know if I was rated, but I did. And it was neat. There was actually a auditory notification as well as a visual one in the chat channel. And I do actually need to adjust that because the sound when I got that notification was rather loud. I felt the alert, so I'm gonna have to fix that issue. But anyway, I tried to raid other people's channels a few times, and at first I thought, well, I'm not able to do it because they're not currently online. Maybe they're not currently active. That makes some sense to me. But then yesterday I tried it with Mesa Man, and it did not work with him. And, you know, he said that he had gone live. Maybe I needed to give it a little while and then do it. I'm really not sure. I still have to figure that one out. I think it's a cool concept, and I would like when I'm signing off for that section, for that time period, I would like to be able to say, hey, I have this follower who's live right now, so, you know, go check out what they're doing. Because I've been going through, and whenever I have a follower who also streams, I've been going and following their channel and kind of checking out what they're doing whenever I'm not streaming. Just to, to see what other folks are doing and be supportive and all that sort of thing. it's, I don't know, it seems like a good idea. If they're watching my channel, maybe I want to watch their channel, right? So I've been doing that a bit, and it would be super awesome if I could, as I'm signing off, say, okay, Lucromus is streaming right now, so, you can, while I'm gone, you can go check out his channel. And that would be awesome, especially some of them even do EverQuest too. Some of them, I know, like Lucromus does retro games. There's a number of people who do retro games. Super cool. But I'm not sure what the parameters for that are, why I've been unable to do it. It's just like, nah, you can't do that. That's kind of the response I've been getting. So I'm not really clear on it. Still learning this whole thing, streaming, Twitch, all of it is new to me. So, working my way through it, picking it up a little bit at a time, and hopefully I will figure that out a little bit better. I really think that if I can ever get a second monitor hooked up to this, that may solve some of these issues. That may be one of them, because right now what I'm doing is I'm using my phone for the chat, and I just have the app up, and I have the chat window for the stream open on there. And I think that that's great, but I also think that it's limited. So I feel like if I can get the second monitor going at some point, then that may solve some of those issues. Right now, I would have to switch over to a different computer in order to be able to even hook up a second monitor, I think, because this laptop is very much bare bones and a few years old as well. It doesn't have an HDMI slot, so I don't know that I could hook up a second monitor to it. I have a friend who has offered to get me a second monitor if I have an HDMI slot, but no luck on that at the moment. So I do have another laptop that would be more capable of running the game better and running the stream better, and also has an HDMI slot. Unfortunately, what it doesn't have is a charging cable, so I don't have any way to get it up and running right now. It's kind of crazy. Looked all over the place, cannot find the charging cable. Don't know. You would think that it might be somewhere near the laptop, but I'm afraid you would be wrong in that assumption. I certainly was. But yeah, that's been the situation, the ongoing saga, you could say, with the second monitor acquisition. However, if I can find the cable, then I can go ahead and charge that up and start the download. I'd have to download EverQuest 2 onto it, obviously. And that would take a little while anyway, just to get all the updates and everything that would be needed for that. So that would take a whole minute, but once I got that set up, I could move my UI over from this computer to make life easy, and shouldn't be too bad at that point. I suspect it would be about a day of time between charging the laptop, getting EverQuest downloaded onto it, UI settings, and then downloading OBS and getting everything connected. I think it would be at least one day of setup for that. let's see here. This is, I think, writ number. See, I've lost track already. Is it writ 2 for the day? Writ 3 for the day? Writ 2, I think, for the day after turning in the first one. And I'm at 30% into the next level, so it's not bad. Moving along. Now, I don't think that we have Advanced Jeweler 38 in our depot. So I will have to buy that one if it's of a reasonable price. If it's not, I don't know. It's that's going to be a little trickier. But if it's, it doesn't have to be that cheap, but if it's worthwhile, then I'll get it. I think that I don't need new boots because I have the dwarven work boots, which I apparently don't have equipped for some reason. There we go. Save those on there. No reason in the world not to have my dwarven work boots on, even if I'm just crafting at the moment. But anyway, I do have the dwarven work boots on. So, otherwise, I probably need everything upgraded. So I've hit level 32 now. I did have level 22 at least, mastercrafted, or something that was a better replacement. I think all the way up in my armor. Those carapace bracers are awesome, by the way. I don't remember where they dropped from. Carapace implies some kind of beetle type thing. But anyway, apparently I did not get the headpiece at level 22. But everything else I have. So that's of lesser import to me than upgrading the jewelry, which badly needs upgraded. I think I still have on some level 9 jewelry. It's not phenomenal at my level. I also need to probably have another look soon at my spells or combat arts, I should say, situation. I actually don't have any spells on the Swashbuckler. I've never played a Swashbuckler before this server, so I don't know if Swashbucklers get any spells at all. A lot of times, a scout might get, a couple. A normal, no, troubadours, they get a lot. Purges, they get a lot. But other scouts, not as much in my experience. Mostly combat arts, not spells. Which is important because of intelligence. It means that intelligence is 100% useless for a swashbuckler, at least at level 32 on this server. There is absolutely no reason whatsoever to have intelligence. So, that's a good thing to know. Wisdom is still good for a swashbuckler, not as vital as for, say, like a tank, because theoretically, if you're grouping, you shouldn't be getting hit as much anyway. So it shouldn't be as big of a deal. But there's a lot of things that are like encounter AoEs that get put onto you, like dots. And so the resistances can come into play, I would say, for every class. Even if you're not in any danger of getting directly hit. Pretty much everything has some degree of usefulness, every stat for a swashbuckler except intelligence. Complete waste to have that. I've been trying to pretty much focus on strength for this guy because strength determines the amount of damage that your melee attack does, and as a swashbuckler, you know that's very important to get your melee attack damage up. So just for DPSing, and again, obviously it depends on your playstyle. If you're if you find yourself soloing or tanking a lot, then obviously things like wisdom and stamina come more into play than other things, so that you can increase your survivability, agility as well, so that you can try to dodge hits. And that's probably the most important if you're tanking for whatever reason as a scout. Then yeah, you definitely want to be able to dodge those incoming blows, because if you get hit, it's going to hurt. This one wears chain, and so it's not as bad as like leather would be, right? But certainly the hits hurt on this server, and if you don't have pretty decent mitigation, it's not going to go super well for you as a scout getting smashed around. Like I said, if your agility is high and you're dodging a lot of it, then that's fine. But realistically, if you're grouping, it's best if you're just not getting hit. So, use your aggro reduction well, and slough that off if that's the situation. And there's some of these hate buffs that you can take off if you do want to take the aggro, and you can go into defensive stance instead of offensive and things like that. So you can hold aggro. So say it's you and a mage, right? And you're out adventuring. Well, you don't want the mage getting hit so much, because they're even, they're squishy as heck, right? I mean, they're wearing cloth, so what can they do? If it's a conjurer or necro, that's different. They've got a pet who can tank, but if it's just you out with a wizard, for instance, then you want to be taking the hits for the most part. Or conversely, if they can chain it and keep it chained, then you can range it if you need to do that. But overall, for the most part, you're really not wanting to be getting hit that much if you're grouping. So I've been kind of going glass cannon with this one. Of course, that being said, as previously mentioned, I have not played as a swashbuckler prior to this one, so what do I know? It's actually my least favorite class is Scout. I've just never really gotten into it. I've played a few different varieties of Scout, and even leveling it up. At the time, it was all the way on live. It was just I never got into it. Even later, when you don't have to be like you don't have to be stealthed as much for the ranger class, for instance. A lot of the things required stealth or things like, and all of the scouts have this stuff where they have to be positional in order to hit. So either in front of or behind or sneaking or ranged or whatever. It's a lot of movement, and later on live, you don't have that situation going on as much. But even then, I'm just like, don't, I'm just don't, not into it, But anyhow, I digress, as they say. So it's pretty quiet out here in general today. I noticed not a lot of. I mean, there's a little bit of talk going on, but not much. 26 paladin looking for group, looking for more in SOS for 6 DPS. That was recent. That was a minute ago. ROV needs another one. There's actually quite a few folks looking for group, but I guess it's mostly that was all in the looking for group channel. I guess what I mean is general is very quiet today. I don't know if the hecklers are not awake yet or what the deal is. This is a little sooner than I often get on, because I'm normally doing other things in the morning time. Occasionally I'll get on and do some crafting in the mornings, but a lot of times I just don't have time to hop in at this time. At least I think that's right. So I did make some emotes the other day. I mentioned that yesterday, and noticed that someone actually used one of them yesterday, which was just awesome. I don't know what people would like to see in the way of emotes. I think it's a cool thing that you can make custom ones. But I don't, I'm not sure what people would really want, right? So I made some of Copernicus doing different facial expressions. So he's got one where he's winking, and one where I felt like he just kind of looks not amused, right? So that's what I named those, winks. I'm not amused. Pretty deep, I know. But I also made one for just insanity, basically. And it's this guy, and he's just got this crazy grin on his face, and he's sort of a barbarian. And then I was able to make an animated version of that. I think it's pretty cool. I didn't realize that you could do animated emotes on here until I was able to make that, like it was an option. So when I saw that, I was like, that's super cool, like an animated emote, and it's a custom animated emote. That's amazing. So I went ahead and made that. I thought it was neat. And then I made a happy little dragon. He's a cute little dragon dude, and sort of what I felt like was a I don't know, kind of EQ2-esque, uh, off offbeat a little bit, but it kind of reminded me, honestly, of Magic the Gathering a little bit. So it's like a Magic and EQ2 crossover artistically. Like, I'm feeling like the Dragon Whelp vibe from back in the day, but combined with, like, I don't know, baby, I don't know, like, it's I don't know. I thought it was cool. That's all I can say. You'll have to check it out and give me your feedback on those. And if you want to see a particular style or a different kind of emote that you would like to use to express yourself, then I would love to hear about it. I'll see what I can do. I've been working on making some clips of these videos here and there. I don't, I don't really know again what I'm doing, but I've been giving that a shot, and I think there are some interesting little tidbits. Just kind of going off of my own opinions until until I can get opinions from you guys. So, um, actually, I put a suggestion box on the I think on my page. Um, hopefully you can see that. I'm not sure. I again, as usual, don't really know what I'm doing, so I just went for it, threw that on there, and hopefully at some point somebody can let me know what they think. That would be awesome. And I was able to use the polls the other day to good effect, and that's how I made an alt on here by asking what class do you guys want me to make out of these classes, and I listed some classes, all of the classes actually, and then what subclass, and I listed out of the subclass or out of the class that the channel had chosen. I listed the options for, in that case, it was mage, that I had not ever played before, which was a wizard and let's see, I got the list right here. So a wizard and a necromancer were the only mage classes that I have not played to high level previously. And so that was how I made my character, whatever the name of my character is. Let's see. Jabanaby. Yeah, that's how I made Jabanaby. So that was fun. I definitely enjoyed that. So good times. Let's see where the leveling is. We're 45% in and totally out of vitality. So tell you what, I'm going to switch over to my adventuring gear. By the way, armor sets are amazing. If you don't know how to make them, you go to, hold on, I'm going to start it over. You hit your C or whatever your character window hot button is. It'll start you on this page here. You click on this tab that says sets. You won't have any there if you've never made any, obviously. And then you can just click this create new set button and you can name it elemental resistance, right? And create the set. You put on whatever kind of elemental resistance clothes you want to wear. And then you would save that set as a new thing. So if you wanted, say that was an elemental resistance, then you would make sure you're clicking, that you're clicked onto the right thing that you want to save, and then you would click the save button, and you would have your elemental resistance set would suddenly be a thing. I don't want to know elemental resistance, so I'm actually going to re-equip my adventuring, and then I'm going to get rid of this elemental resistance set that doesn't actually exist. But the point is, you can make whatever kind of a set that you want to, and at the click of a button, put on the entire set of clothing. I have a crafting and a harvesting set right now. They're not very well differentiated at this time because I don't have much to go into them. But it just helps you not forget to use them. And it's very simple. You don't have to dig in your bags to find, say your artisan's tunic. Bags can get full pretty easily in this game. And in fact, I better go and sell some stuff before I go out into the world. I don't even have very much to sell, but I do want to sell the little bit of trash that I have, because that's going to make my life a little bit easier in a few moments. So we'll go sell vendor trash. So one thing you can do when you're selling is if you've marked things not for sale, such as I have a Goblin's Notebook, History of the Condemned Catacombs, I definitely don't want to sell that. So I've checked this button down here underneath that says not for sale. And so then anytime I go to sell stuff at a vendor, I can click this button here that says hide not for sale. And all that stuff doesn't show. So here we go. Now, trash. We've got chunk of timber, damaged medium, folded snakeskin, arachnid leg, insect shell. Those are all trash. Canine saliva, you can use it for crafting. I'm not going to. Currently don't have a provisioner. Crab meat. And, in all honesty, as far as like the crab meat goes, the crab meat is one of those deals that's not particularly difficult for provisioners to come across. So it's really, I think that the crab meat sold for like 17 copper, and that's pretty much worth a lot more than you going and gathering some crab meat is worth. You can probably find crab meat, I would imagine, on the broker for like 1 copper each or something equally ridiculous. So now I was doing some quests over in Nek Forest, and I feel like going back and doing some of those is probably a good idea. I do ultimately want to go and unlock Nek Castle, because there's a lot of doors in Nek Castle that you have to do quests, or you have to do things in a certain order in order to unlock. And getting some of that out of the way is a good idea. Plus, there's a heritage quest that you pick up in there once you get to the room with like the puppet master. When I see these rainbow lights, I have to come and check and see if my scrying stones will work. Yesterday they were broken. It seems at the moment that they're still broken. Yeah, they do appear to be. It's not working. Shame. Okay, I'm going to sort my bags. The sort button is also amazing. It sorts things by category in your bags. You can exclude bags from that if you want to by right-clicking your bag, selecting bag options, and you can click skip bag, and that will make that bag not be accessed for sorting as far as changing what's in the bag. I think what I'm going to do, because I want to go, well, no, I'll go ahead and fly the steps and go that way. Depending on where you want to go in the steps, it can be a better idea, or in Nek Forest, it can be a better idea to go take the spires over to Common Lands and then run into Nek Forest. But I think I would rather go ahead and go along the docks route for various reasons. One of which is that I want to go by Thundering Steps docks and get that shiny that's over there. And, continue my eternal search for the striped red ant for Eloise Laceleaf on the Thundering Steps docks. Always, always got to take that opportunity when it's presented. Let's see here. Still nobody on. It's a shame. Let's say hello in Copernicus Corner. I don't know if anybody's in there, but possibly one way to find out. Who knows? Yeah, man, I wish I could remember. What if it's /who channel like this? Copernicus Corner. Ah, that's it. Haha. So now we know how to find out who's in a channel. I had forgotten. Um, but excellent. Huh, that's very interesting. This person in chat says, out of interest, is there anyone here whose account is older than 7,809 days? And then this person says 7,838, 7,822, 7,817. So they've been around a little while. I've got 7764. So the implication from what I'm seeing here is that I was probably 6 months into the game when I made this account. $7,800 for that one. So he was about a week later than the initial asker. Whoa, 5 to 6 years logged online time. Isn't that a crazy thing, right? Because when you think about it, if you've got that kind of log time, it's like it's not just like real time years exactly, because in real life we sleep, and so for a certain portion of the day, say 8 hours, we're not actually doing things in our real lives. So to say that your account is a year old, or that no, to say that your playtime on a character is 365 days, that's referring to 365 actual full days. Like, it's not counting anything else. So, like, your character's day of playtime is longer than your day, you know. So it's kind of interesting. Think about that. How much time is actually being devoted. That being said, I'm going to make the point that in the past, when this game first came out, you could not sell on the broker unless your character was online, um and so what we would do is we would leave the game on for long periods of time because you wanted to be able to get those sales. So you would just go AFK in your house or whatever like that. And so just because your character has that amount of playtime doesn't necessarily mean you were there. And of course, obviously, people go AFK all the time and just walk away from the computer, come back later. But what I'm saying is, you'd go to sleep for the night, and you would leave your character in, so that your character could continue to be the broker, essentially, or not be the broker, be the salesman in their home while you were sleeping. So I think that does have some relevance. And even though that hasn't been the case in a very long time, it was the case for a long time. So just gonna throw that one out there. This is strange. This person says, could I have played 20 minutes worth of time and my account age be 7804? Well, yeah, of course. Hello. I think that's a strange question. I mean, yes, if you logged in for 20 minutes 7,804 days ago, then your account age would be 7,804, and you've only played 20 minutes worth of time. This person responds, if you just stand AFK, yes, LOL. You don't need to stand AFK for that to be the case. You can just have made the account, not played for very long, logged out, I mean, that's still going to be your account age. I don't understand the question. Am I missing something? Nobody else seems to be curious about how that would be relevant. I decided to go ahead and jump off here and primarily go look for some things that I need to gather, but also find any of the quest critters that I need, which I won't be finding the shadowed men out here. Looks like there's natural gardens I need to get. Oh, I need to go to the Mars Ascent. I should have gone ahead and done that when I was flying that direction. Oh well, that's okay. I can run it, and it'll be just as good. There's a little area right below Namar's Ascent that has a good number of harvests that spawn there. So that'll be fun, because I do need to harvest some things for various quests. I know I need some penumbra ore, and I think some roots. And, well, you know what? I don't need the roots anymore, I just realized. I definitely need the penumbra ore, I definitely need the polluted gardens, so. Don't think that I need a beast den, but you know what? I'm going to go ahead and harvest one just to make sure. Sometimes that's a decent way to check, because at the very least, you're going to get some harvests. No need for that apparently at the moment. And there, I think, is some penumbra ore, so we'll get that. Let's see here. Need owlbear sinews. Yeah, I need a bunch of those for various things. I need to check the gate, which they're calling the fire guard. We know where that is. We need a zillion diviners. Forgot about that. Glad I checked. Polluted natural garden. We need that for sure. I think I may need Blackwater Lake for some reason, which is right here. Dragoon Lieutenant. This is going to need all kinds of stuff. Toe bones of sentries, clumps of flesh from golems, skulls from skeletons, and high quality root specimens from deadly rumble roots. Stronger skeletons, infected patches of skin from patchwork men. Natural gardens, yeah. Need that for a couple of quests, looks like. There's some penumbra ore. Got to get the Sulian fairies. That's for a couple of different quests too. I need those. Fairies, Gulfix mystics. Oh, I do need to gather wood. Okay. Interesting. Rumble roots. I have everything checked that I can in my journal, but I'll need 3 ash wolves, more owlbears, more penumbra ore, and go check out Dire Hollow. So, all right, coolio. So yeah, need to gather a bunch of nodes, which is, this is always good because, again, hey, we need more stuff in the depots anyway. Somebody's going to need it to level up their character. May as well have it at the ready. And it's great to need to harvest the wood and bushes, because those are always left by people cherry picking the roots and ore and metals. So plenty of them around, and And, you know, a good excuse to gather it, so. We can knock that part of these quests out pretty easily. It's also something that's extremely soloable because, in this case, gathering around this lower part of Namar's ascent, there's not really any aggro down here. There's a little bit. You know, these wolves are aggro. If you're that level, but realistically, it's not very much in the way of aggro stuff down at this part. So it's a good spot if you're low level and trying to gather down at the bottom of Namar's ascent. There are some harvests at the top of Namar's ascent near the Griffin Station, but they are more difficult for a low level to gather because there's a lot of, or a lot more, I would say a lot more aggro than there is down here. Let's see here. We're moving right along in this. I think I'm going to make this window, not the hotbar. What I want to do is look at the window settings. I think I might want to make it a little bit more opaque, if possible. Quick through enabled, don't need that on. Actually, this would make it darker. That's the frame. We don't need any of that. So it's actually as opaque as she gets, unfortunately. It's too bad. If you guys see an ad pop up, let me know so that I can be aware of what you can hear me talking about and what you can't hear me talking about. I know I do a lot of rambling, but sometimes I give some tips as well. You just never know. And I can certainly lean more toward the rambling and less toward the tips during ad breaks if I know they're happening. When I get a second monitor someday in the distant future of my life, then I should be able to see when the ads are happening. There's a little window that's supposed to tell you when it's upcoming, and it doesn't do that on the app, but I think that it does if you have a second monitor. So, but for now, I actually have no idea when an ad is playing. It doesn't show me on my, like I have a little feedback screen. It's a little tiny screen on the phone, but it doesn't tell me that, nor does it show it on my screen. So it's a shame. I could clear some of these other nodes just to make the wood and natural gardens and penumbra ore spawn, but I want to go ahead and leave those so that people who are looking for them will be very happy when they come over here. Ooh, more rainbow lights to check and see if it works on. It doesn't look like that's happening. It's a shame. Seems to be broken in at least in Nek Forest. All right, we're at Daria. She says these two are impossible. Always bickering over who wins most and who doesn't cheat. And I say, what are they arguing about? She says, you don't know? It's all the rage these days, it seems. In your travels, have you ever noticed the small rainbows near the ground in certain areas? And I say, yeah, come to think of it, I have. She says these rainbows seem to be linked to what we call scrying stones. If you use a stone while near a rainbow, something magical happens. I don't know exactly how it works, but sometimes you can find treasure with them. I say, that sounds fun. She says, oh, it's great fun. Here, I think I have some extra stones on me for you to try it. Take these scrying stones and try your hand at it. I will only give you these 5, though. If you run out, you will need to shop around the merchants at the docks for more. For fun. I say thank you. Now, that being said, here we have it. The rainbow lights in question. I literally just tried this. Did not work. Note the not workingness of it. It's a sad thing, really. I had actually also tried it in Antonica yesterday, I believe, and it wasn't working. It's been a few days, I think, since it did work. Maybe, maybe it got broken on Tuesday or Thursday of last week. I'm not really sure when it got broken, but at some point it seems to. I also just realized that I'm running off, and I ought not to yet, because I ought to come see if we've got any repops on some of these nodes that I still need to gather. Not looking like it thus far. Well, there's one. Here we go. Polluted natural garden. So if you guys need some rocks or roots, right now over on Anashti Sul by the Namar's Ascent at the bottom, there are a great number of them hanging out, just waiting. In all their glory. Ah, there we go. Penumbra ore. That's exactly what I need. And a bush. How exciting. So it looks like I need 32 more specimens of local natural, or not 32 more, 32 total specimens of harvests from natural gardens. Let me see if I actually still need any of the wood. Yes, I do. Looks like it's a good number left. Oh no, just 2 more of those. I was looking at the lengthy branches from the local rumble roots. Gotta get those too. Saw a dude running over that direction. Maybe he's gonna go gather some of these other things. Okay, so I think that may be it for the updates on the wood. Let's see. It looked like it was flashing in that direction. So I won't get any more of those right now. I guess I did not need anything from Blackwater Lake right now. I kind of thought I did, but maybe I finished that quest line. So, because I have trouble with basic things like eating and drinking in real life, I managed to bite my lip terribly badly Tuesday of last week. And since then, I've had a fun time continuing to bite my lip every few days in the same location. So, like, day before yesterday, sitting there eating supper, and dang if I didn't bite the heck out of it. I was like, man, I'm gonna like lose part of my lip here. It's just a matter of time. It's like, God, man. It's like, how is it that you get to be, I don't know, 5 years old and you haven't learned how to chew yet? It's like, well, this seems like a perfectly viable thing to chomp down on. It's my flesh. I love it. You know, I just don't understand. How how can I still be alive after all this time when I can't, manage eating and drinking? Some people have trouble with walking. I don't have as much difficulty with that when I can walk pretty decently. But swallowing, no, that's ridiculous, it's fairly likely that every few days I'm going to manage to choose to breathe instead of swallow liquid. It's as though I'm uncertain if I am actually like a fish or a mammal, turns out every single time thus far I've been a mammal, and mammals just simply don't breathe the water very well. I mean, well, okay, you breathe in the water just fine, but you don't handle it very well, unfortunately. It's a sad lesson to learn way too often. It's incredible. It, to my credit, I really prior to this haven't bitten my lip in a long time. I'm gonna count that as a win because I have certainly breathed air or breathed. I've breathed air often. I've breathed water. Um, just an incredible amount of times in my life. And it doesn't even have to be like somebody made me laugh or something. No, I just choose to breathe instead of swallow. It's absolutely strange. Occasionally, I can even like swallow food down the wrong pop. I know that's a thing. I'm not the only one who does it, but it just seems like a weird choice, right? I don't know why that happens. Um, Most of the time, though, I don't do that with food. Solids I can handle. It's the liquids that are tricky, liquid, gas, they're like the same thing, right? Don't think I need any of those guys. I do need some of the patchwork men for sure. And they are up near Nek Castle. Nek Castle is a long run to get there, no matter which direction you go. I've always found that to be the case. And if you're wondering why I'm killing the Treants right now, since I don't clearly have any quest checked in my journal for it, it's because I have the Treant lore and legend, and these are some of the Treants that are lower level that I can kill right now. Just kind of getting that lore and legend worked through. Make sure I have on my. All right, good job, me. I have on my adventuring set. I'm not out in my artisan tunic. That always makes me happy. I think I still need a good number of polluted root, or no, polluted natural gardens, and maybe some penumbra ore that I need to keep an eye out for as well. Let's see how many more treants we have hanging around on track, if any. There's one. We better go recheck that. So, no, none. We're at a solid 0 of the treants right now. I don't want to search just for treants in the track window at the moment because I have so many other things that I'm looking for that I just want to keep it up. I also don't want to go attack those guys because I had a little experience with those the other day, and I found that I was not able to get the dragoon lieutenant that I wanted out of them without certain death. There's a good number of them, and they sort of swarmed me and destroyed me. I don't remember if I successfully ran away from them or if they killed me. Or probably maybe both. Tried enough times that I could have experienced both in equal measure. There's a treant over there. If you have a quest where you're looking for the flying snakes, the wet snakes, they are here. Right here. I'm going to go ahead and knock this treant out. This one is not aggro. That one is aggro, so we're going to have a little additional friend. But I'm going to just mez him and kill the other one first. So not a big deal. It wouldn't be that big of a deal anyway, because, you know, they're blue, non-heroic, so. Alright, some more penumbra ore. Mixing up the adventuring with a little bit of gathering. And this is good because it lets the lets that detriment have a little time to get off me. So that was 24 out of 33 of the polluted garden harvests that I needed. Moving right along. Shouldn't be too much more to go on that one. I don't know how many more of the Treant pieces that I need as far as the auto updates. I'm gonna go check on that real quick. Okay, so all of them. I haven't found the Vial of Sap, the Treant Heart, or the Treant Spirit. The dropped ones, I probably have a lot of those, or a good number of those, because I've just been throwing them into our depot for anyone who needs them as I kill these treants. And I haven't actually examined them myself to see what I need. But I'm sure there are a number of them in the depots at this time, so hopefully it's been able to help other people finish their lore and legends as well. It's not really in any way imperative to get those done, so not too worried about it. Gonna get this sentry first because he sees through, or no, he's aggro rather. There is no invis that I'm working with at the moment. I did notice that I have this not on currently, and that I have a replacement for it here that I haven't updated yet. But I think I might have, I don't have that one updated enough, so 20% chance to cast evade and decreases threat to target by 816. This one actually decreases it significantly more by 1,193. So with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and clear this hotkey. change my hotbar settings to allow draggable and move this down to where that was. Pop it on instead. We also have this, which I am pretty sure I have updated. Smirking defense. Maybe I don't. Yes, fancy footwork. So, that is definitely not as good as the one that I already have. So I'm going to wait until I upgrade the smirking defense version before I replace my fancy footwork with it. There is a wrought heart treant nearby. There he is. Go knock this fellow out. I know that I had a treant leaf drop the other day while I was fighting these guys, and I think that's one of the ones that is the harder, maybe the hardest of the treant parts get to drop. I don't think I've gotten any parts to drop today. Once Fadewar comes out, there are a lot of treants there at very low level, and you can just go and farm treants for their parts to your heart's content. But in the meanwhile, this is one of the better places to get your treant lore and legend updates. I think I'm going to come get some of these guys because I need them. I think I need skeletons for a couple of quests, maybe. I definitely need them for at least one, as evidenced by the feather. But I think maybe for a couple. So I may as well get these non-heroic skeletons for those updates, since I'm all alone out here, struggling mightily, I suppose. Ah, yes, need the skulls. That's what I need from them. I think that might be for the Parsi's trade with requisition from the docks, possibly. Man, what a mean skeleton I got on me right now. How rude of him. Ah, and I'm stunned too? Man, it's just not even nice. Gotta do the whole kiting method and try not to run into things. But if I do run into something, I'm not too concerned about it. Ah, included natural garden. How lovely. Gotta tell you, these level 17 arrows are underwhelming. But, you know, we're getting there. Got Stormfire after all. Stormfire is a winning bow. you don't have it and you're a scout, you need it. If you're around level 28 or a little higher, it's very nice. Oh, I got some ads on me. That's cool. Uh-oh. Oh, no, that's not good. Well, let's see if I can kill him before they kill me. And if I can. Ah, so close. So close. Toothpicks. Yes. That's what I'm using right now. Level 17 toothpicks. That's right. That is exactly correct, EverQuest. I I definitely had to deal with that. That was my own fault. I saw them there and I thought I was a little bit, out of their range and I was incorrect. So poor assessment skills on my part. Speaking of the ads that you guys see, be sure to let me know when those pop up so that I can not, I can ramble about something different than anything important, during those. You know how I am. I'll just be like, I don't know. I'll talk. You never know what I might talk about. It's totally random. It's like neurons firing at random. But I'll try to not drop my tips during the ad time if possible. I don't know how useful my tips are, but I figure may as well give a little of my uh, limited knowledge along the way. Now, for the indigenous fairies quest, that can be either of the varieties of fairies, but I believe that I need the Sulian fairies for a different quest, and so figure I may as well use their updates for both. Actually, I may have killed all the Sulian fairies that I need, it occurs to me. Maybe the other fairies that I need. Let's see. That would be funny. And probably true. Well, thank you. It's a wonderful compliment. If you're having trouble sleeping sometime, you can just turn on my stream and boom, there you go. It's like listening to the ocean, but in voice format. These fungus guys, man, they will just get you. And what they'll do is they'll pile up on you in certain areas. This isn't one of the areas. They just kind of add a little bit to whatever else you're doing. But over by Behemoth Pond, there are a good number of them. And if you aren't careful, you can definitely get overwhelmed by them. Yes, the white noise, that's correct. Ah, now that is another quest. Drop quest, the 3 rings. So let's see what we can see about that. Examine it. And it says, you found 3 dull black rings among the belongings of your fallen opponent. And we click try the rings on because, that's what you do, right? And we get a quest. Found 3 strange black rings that seem to exude an ancient magic. After putting them on, I find myself overcome by an insatiable lust for battle. I believe I must satisfy the thirst of the rings if I am to free myself from their influence. We'll accept that. And basically, what it wants me to do is kill things. I think that was fairly clear from the description, but pretty much that's what it's all about. Which is good because that's what we were doing anyway. In between gathering and sitting around staring at armor and things like that. Aha, 1 of 40. Already we begin the great completion of this quest. The good news is it's not one that you need to check in your journal because anything you kill counts for it pretty much. So you don't need everything on your map to be lit up as an object that you need to kill. It's kind of like when you have a lore and legend quest. There's normally not any real need to have that selected in your journal. Because if there's a feather on everything, then the feathers are meaningless, Ads. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know EverQuest. It's too bad you may have missed my very important don't have your quest on that shows every single feather on every single thing tip. Almost done with the fairy armor quest, and I was right, I did need the Sulian wings. Okay, cool. Glad to see that I wasn't that far off. I was thinking that I might need the other fairies whose name is currently eluding me, but they're the opposite tribe. You've got the Sulians, and then you have something with a slightly longer name. I think it's 3 syllables, and it may start with a D, it's like Denelian, but I mean, obviously not Denelian, because that would be 4 syllables. And maybe it is 4 syllables. I don't remember. But I don't think so. All right, let's see. He had me stifled and stunned there for a whole minute. But too bad for him. We survived it. Made it through. I don't know. Let's see how many more. All right, so we'll need 8 more indigenous berries in general. But I need to speak with Taskmaster Dizran on the docks. So I finished one of the Farsi's requisitions, meaning that I can go and click one of these other ones. Okay, yeah, Rumble Roots. That's a good one to click. So I may forget that I need that. Let's see what else we've got going on here. Okay, collecting skulls. We need Rumble Roots. Need to find the Valley of the Bears. That's easy. Dragoon Sentries is over in the area where the Valley of the Bears is. Local golems. Best place for that will be around Nek Castle, as mentioned earlier. Dragoon Lieutenant is over. Well, there's a couple of places for that, but one of them is over by the Goldex Citadel, I believe, and the other is over by close to the Thexians. Let's see what else we've got. Clumps of flesh. Yeah, okay, that was that one. Assylian diviners. That's the other one. Assylian. That would be 4 syllables also. So it is sort of like Divinian. Assylian. Same number of syllables. And I wonder what I'm thinking of with Divinian. I feel like it's D'Vinian. And I don't know where I'm getting that word from. I feel like I don't know. Divinian. I don't know. Scout. I'm not sure. The word is just in my head with no context. And the thing is, it may not even be an EverQuest word. It may be like a Magic the Gathering word. I'm not sure. All right, let's see here. I need to speak with Claren for his earring. I need to something that I can't see because I've stuck my hotbar in the way. That's how I operate.
Well met.
Well, let's see. I need to do something. I think that's owlbear meat. All right, where are we at right now? We've got a quest update down here, so I ought not to run off quite yet. Got Chel Morgan. All right, he says, have you gathered the plants? And I say, I've gathered several different plants for you. He says, these can't be the right ingredients. The suspect said he'd gathered berries for wine, but there's not a single berry in the lot. I think you might have used fey berries from the polluted natural gardens here in Nektulos. Some people have an allergic reaction to them. Maybe that's what happened here. I say, I'll see if I can find some fey berries then. All right. More gathering. And more polluted gardens, which I needed anyway. I'm going to try again because I am a glutton for punishment in these rainbow lights, which now I even have a quest for it, so it's even more enticing to me. But alas, it was not to be. Do believe it may be broken. Now back to this whole situation. I think I'm going to show the spinner so that I can more easily drag it. And I'm just going to drag it down here where it's out of my way for my quests because I want to see what we need to do in all of the quests, not just some of them. All right. Let's see. Need to return to Torque. Now, for that one, Staria and the Dwarf, let's see. Okay, Daria, yes, I did that already. So, all right, let's go ahead to, I think Namar's Ascend is where we'll head from here. Oh, but wait, a feather. Oh my goodness. Here we are. Sulian partisan it is. It's like seeing a shiny. I will definitely leap off of a griffin for a shiny without hesitation. Now you see, I mentioned how they'll sort of add up. That guy was wandering toward me already. There aren't any more of them running around, so it's not like a big deal, but good to kind of be aware. These dudes will definitely do that, and they range a little ways, so. Let's make sure I have food and drink. I do. That's good. And Sulian Partisan next. Oh, another treant. See, why did I even think I should take a griffin when there's all these lovely things to slaughter on the way? What was I thinking? Mez that guy while we finish this one. And now for him. Alright, small chest. And this is another quest starter. I already have this one. I wonder if I've started the quest yet. Let's see. Examine that. I haven't. It looks like I haven't started this quest. What a silly thing. Alright, it says, you found the blade of an elegantly crafted sword. It is missing the hilt, so the blade has been rendered useless. Looking at the metal of the blade, however, you're not sure you should get rid of it. The metal seems to have been hammered and folded quite a number of times, making it unbelievably strong. We're going to look at the blade closer. And here's where we get the quest. I found a sword blade with no hilt. It has very fine etchings covering its surface and seems to be very strong. It would be a shame to throw something like this away. So we will accept this. And now it says I need to find an old hilt. Perhaps I can find one lying around near the Behemoth Pond. It did in fact say lying around near, which is fair because it can be lying around near Behemoth Pond. These fairies are way up there. I don't think I need too many more of those. Let's see here. 3 more indigenous fairies, non-specific about what variety. Yes, one more, so I better not leave quite yet. And I gotta keep an eye out because those Merc Bloom fungi do like to hang around. Alright, got all of those. The next things that I'll need for that one are Goltex Mystics. And that'll be a whole thing right there. I think I'll head up toward Nek Forest and get these patchwork zombies that I need. Since I'm in the area anyway, having failed to stay on the Griffin for a long enough period of time. Get nearer to the Mars Ascent. There's hate blossom way up in the tree. Seems like an interesting place for it. I think the interactive plants around here are interesting. Like you can, okay, just to show you what they do. I normally dodge them, but this is some spiteweed. We're going to go run into it. And you see it gave me a detriment. And the detriment says, when damaged with a melee weapon, this spell will cast Spiteweed Rash Irritation on target, which inflicts 1 poison damage on target. So, it lasts for almost 2 minutes. Well, I guess it does last for 2 minutes. So during that time, if I get hit with a melee weapon, I will take an extra point of damage. Let's see. I don't know how often this goes off. Doesn't tell me. So just, I guess, on every hit when damaged. It's not even a percent chance. It just absolutely will happen. So, I've got a little time left on that, but I will kind of slow him and not get hit as much, perhaps, with the melee weapon. Because, got to keep things interesting somehow, right? This is a nice area for it because these things are not aggro to me. And so I have this little stretch to just kite around. This is like a scout's dream, right? Like having this much room to just run back and forth with your, especially like a ranger, because they have so many spells that they get to cast from range that they can just go to town on something like this and not even really take any damage. Now I'm just gonna keep going this way. And that detriment is no longer on me from the spotweed. But if you're in these areas and you're running around and you see these plants, do be aware that they will do things like that. They're not all um, they're not all spiteweed. They can be other varieties, but they are all nasty in one way or another. This guy's nasty and he's heroic, and I don't like him one bit. In fact, I don't like anything over there. We're gonna go back this way. Blue heroic is not my cup of tea right now. Maybe if I was totally mastercrafted out, we could talk. Instead, I'm gonna go ahead and kill these zombies that are hanging out here. As I recall, these guys can all be placeholders for the patchwork min. So if you're hunting the patchworks, as I recall, you can clear this strip and spawn some patchworks. I realize I am eating. I checked to make sure I was, but I don't think that I have my totems running at the moment. So I should remedy that situation after this fight, just to get a little bit faster regen. I only have a couple left right now in my bags, but I can pick up some more next time I'm at the house. These totems will last 30 minutes and increase health regen and power regen significantly. The extra good thing about this is that because I have the Rings That Thirst quest, everything I kill is updating the quest, so it doesn't feel like all I'm doing is trying to spawn some patchworks because I'm also getting the updates on there. And with the quality of jewelry that I have, and by that I mean the horrible quality of jewelry that I have currently on, it may actually be a useful jewelry piece for me. Don't know if I'll put it on though, because I do intend, as soon as I level up one more crafting level, to get um, the jewelry that will be much better, which is the mastercrafted. It's like I can either talk or think, you know. So I had to do less of the talking so that I could perhaps not die to this guy. We'll see. There's a chance. Ah, sadness. That's all right. That respawns you way back at Bone Lake, giving me another opportunity, of course, to uh, find various things along the way that I need to kill for various quests, like this treant. Now, the res sickness definitely is not phenomenal to be fighting with, but I think I'm going to anyway. Because why not? YOLO and all that, right? Cool that I also failed to put on a couple of buffs prior to starting. Ah, look at that, a Treant heart. Oh, and a vial of sap. Nice. Can't argue with that. Don't need the Sulian partisans anymore. Oh yeah, alright, so the Rose of Innerok. It does some lovely things here. Decreases power of target by 6.2% instantly and every second. So, drains your power to run into those little purple mushrooms there. Rose of Innerok. No luck on more Treants yet. Guess I can pull this up and make sure I don't miss any. There's one there. For those who are unaware, well, that's a quest starter for Private Doobie, but no sense in starting it until I'm near him. When the enemy is casting something, casting a spell that normally you can interrupt them. It will show their casting card. You can see Corrosive Strike go into that Treant's name just then. That's Poison Cloud. So you can see it casting. And if you have an interrupt, which you probably do, then you can click that and stop their cast and keep yourself from getting that little poison from the poison cloud, for instance. Often it's a good idea to interrupt whatever it is they're trying to do. There is a black timber treant nearby that I didn't see, so I think I will look at. Okay, he's over here hanging out. The benefits of track. There's many benefits of track, but that's one of them. If you're looking for something that you can probably pretty easily see, you don't necessarily have to click it. But then if you note that you have run by one without seeing it, then you can notice perhaps and click it. So good stuff. I know I showed you guys the rose spinneret and spite weed. There are some other fun things around here, and I'll show you when I come across one. We're going to go up to the northwest and see if we can find more patchwork men along the way. And you never know. I may try to be more careful, I may not. You see, I've gotten a couple of detriments on me here. These were from the river that I just swam through. Decreases in combat movement speed by 3%, increases spell and ability costs by 10%. Basically, when you go near those soul leeches on the riverbanks, they put these detriments on you. Ah, there we go. A patchwork man. Just what I needed. Exactly what I've been looking for. Very soon, I will need to go. In fact, momentarily, looks like, and get some things done. And I'll be gone for probably less than an hour, but I think I'll probably grab some food in addition to other things. And I have reached the end of this pathway. So I think I will go ahead and log out here, and that way, when I log back in, we'll have a new set of creatures along this area, most likely. So I'll have chances to immediately get some patchworkmen. I think I'll come and log out a little bit this direction because I don't want to log into Coilinite on top of me. So we'll go up here where we're a little bit out of the way. Okay, I see that EverQuest 2 says, you've inspired me to give Origins another go. Curious if harvesting is limited to skill level as it once was, or did they not revert it? Okay, so I can tell you what they did with the harvesting. Basically, when you are not at the tier you should be, you just can't harvest the rares. So you can still harvest, you just can't harvest the rares. So it's not like it was where you can't harvest at all. But you should definitely give Origins a go. It's good times. You can get killed and everything there. It's crazy. Just being able to be decimated by getting ads from non-heroics is insane. So I know. It's like, it's not like it used to be where you get all the cool detriments from getting killed. Like you got to go get your soul shard and and it actually had detriments to not have your soul. That was super cool. I wish they'd brought that back, but we're not quite early enough in the game for that. They had already eliminated them by then. By the time this server was set in around 2006, apparently because they found the files to be able to do that. So uh, definitely cool though. So all right, well, it was a pleasure streaming with you guys as always, and I will be back in an hour or before. If you haven't played the Soul Shards and they are ever able to do that again, I would say it was a lot of fun because you would actually like lose part of your soul. You could lose up to 10 of them at once, or not at once, but you could lose up to 10 and then it would cap, but it would actually be a detriment to all of your stats. You would get instead of it was a lot of fun. Uh, it was one of those deals where you get killed, and if you're alone and you get killed somewhere, for instance, um, then obviously you now have less ability to go back and get that body, that soul, because because your stats have gone down. So you may end up having to like say, "Hey, can you come help me retrieve my soul to a group or something?" And so you could actually do like a run just to get a friend or guildmate's soul back. So anyway, it was fun. But I've got to run, and I would love to talk to you later. Should be back probably within an hour, maybe a little over an hour at the most. If you guys haven't followed me on Twitch yet, be sure to do that, and you can turn on notifications to get notified whenever I'm streaming. So I will see you all later. Got a log for now. Bye bye.